This is Sam again, the guy who somehow manages to run the busiest coffee shop in town. But this time, something feels a little different. His cafe isn't just a place for regular folks to grab a latte before work. No, this cafe has very special customers, politicians. When they walk in, they don't stand in line like you do. They don't wait for the barista to scribble their name on a paper cup. Instead, they get ushered straight to a reserved table in the back, one that always seems to have a fresh pot waiting. Same coffee beans, same espresso machine, but somehow their cups taste sweeter, smoother, richer. Why? Because while you and I are just trying to get through the day with a little caffeine, these customers are playing a very different game. At Sam's Cafe, the politicians aren't just buying coffee. They're getting inside perks that nobody else has access to. And that's where the story really begins. Here's where things get interesting. Imagine walking into Sam's Cafe in the morning. The chalkboard menu still says, latte, $4. You line up, wait your turn, and pay the price everyone else does. But the politicians, they get something you don't. The menu before it's even posted. Sam slips them a secret piece of paper under the table. On it are tomorrow's prices. They already know that the latte will jump from $4 to $5 before the rest of us even find out. So what do? Easy. They stock up today, or they make a deal with the barista in advance. By the time the change hits the chalkboard for everyone else, they've already positioned themselves perfectly. That's what insider perks look like in the cafe and in Wall Street. While regular customers, you and me, react to the prices as they change, politicians already have the script. They know which way the story is headed before the first scene plays out. It's not about working harder or being smarter. It's about sitting at that special back table sipping coffee while everyone else scrambles to catch up. Picture this. Sam sets up a poker night in the back of his cafe. Everyone's invited. Baristas, customers, even the delivery guy. But there's a catch. The politicians aren't just players at the table. They're also the ones writing the rules of the game. When they sit down, the deck is already stacked in their favor. If the hand goes bad, they've got an escape hatch. Maybe Sam lets them redraw their cards. Maybe they get their money back while everyone else is stuck with their losses. Either way, they're never really at risk. Now translate that back to Wall Street. Politicians don't just invest like the rest of us. They can pass laws, tweak regulations, and whisper hints to their friends at the cafe, moves that tilt the entire table in their direction. If a company is about to get crushed by new rules, they know before anyone else. If bailouts are coming, they're the first to bet big on the winners. It's like playing a game where you're allowed to peek at everyone's cards and call a redo whenever you like. Regular players might win or lose on luck, but politicians, they rarely walk away from the table with empty pockets. Here's where things get really spicy. Imagine Sam's Cafe poker game goes sideways. The politicians at the table make risky bets, lose big, and suddenly the cafe's cash register is empty. In a fair world, they'd take the hit like everyone else. But in this cafe, that's not how it works. Instead, Sam turns to the rest of the customers, the people just trying to sip their lattes in peace, and says, "Sorry, folks, we're raising prices to cover the losses. Overnight, the cost of every croissant and cappuccino goes up. The gamblers keep their seats, smiling with fresh cups in hand, while the regulars are left footing the bill. That's exactly how bailouts work. When big banks or Wall Street giants make reckless bets and stumble, politicians step in with taxpayer money to patch the hole. The insiders walk away cushioned, while everyday people, the ones who never got a seat at the table, end up paying through higher taxes, weaker savings, and an economy tilted against them. It's not just unfair. It's like making the losers of the poker game buy champagne for the winners. And the craziest part? The cycle repeats over and over, because the players know the cafe will always refill their cups when things go wrong. Now, here's the part that feels almost like cheating at Sam's Cafe. Imagine this. While most customers are standing in line, not sure if the next batch of muffins will sell out, a few special guests already know exactly what's about to happen. Maybe Sam whispers to them that the price of beans will rise next week. Maybe they get an early peek at tomorrow's menu before it's posted. Armed with that knowledge, they buy up muffins today at the lower price. Then, when the menu changes, they flip them for double. Everyone else is left stunned, wondering how these lucky few always seem one step ahead. That's what insider information looks like on Wall Street. Politicians often have access to data, regulations, and decisions before the public does. And while technically they're supposed to play by the same rules, loopholes and weak enforcement mean they can sip their lattes while the rest of us scramble for scraps. It's not that they're smarter gamblers. It's that the deck is stacked. When you already know which horse will win the race, betting big isn't risk, it's guaranteed profit. And the insiders at Sam's Cafe, they always seem to know when to sip and when to sell. Here's where the game feels the most unfair. In Sam's Cafe, regular customers buy coffee with their own cups. If they spill it, if they misjudge, tough luck. They're out of coffee. But the VIP guests, they get a safety net. If their latte tips over, Sam quietly refills their cup, no questions asked. That's how Wall Street works when politicians are involved. Risk isn't really risk if you know the house will bail you out. Big bets on shaky stocks? No problem. If it goes bad, there's often a taxpayer-funded safety net waiting to catch them. Meanwhile, ordinary people, the teachers, nurses, and baristas of the world, don't get a refill when their savings spill. It's not that politicians are fearless investors. It's that they play by a different set of rules. Heads, they win bigger. Tails, someone else pays the bill. And just like at Sam's Cafe, once you realize the game is rigged, every sip leaves a bitter aftertaste. Now here's the real cost, not just in dollars, but in trust. Imagine you're a loyal customer at Sam's Cafe. You line up every morning, hand over your cups, and pay the posted price. Then one day you notice something strange. The VIP table always gets bigger lattes, faster service, and special discounts. And if they ever run out of cups, Sam just prints more for them. Meanwhile, you're left squinting at the chalkboard as prices quietly tick upward. That's what happens in the real economy. Ordinary people, workers, students, families, watch from the sidelines as politicians and insiders sip from bottomless cups. Every bailout, every whispered deal, every adjustment to the rules reminds the public that they're not really playing the same game. And over time, that drip, drip, drip of favoritism brews something toxic: distrust. People stop believing the cafe is fair. They question whether their cups mean anything at all. And once trust erodes, it's not just lattes that get bitter. It's the entire system. Here's the sip no one wants to swallow. When politicians always win on Wall Street, the everyday customer always pays the tab. It's not just about a few extra cents on your latte. It's your retirement account that grows slower because insiders already grab the best deals. It's your paycheck stretched thinner because inflation and bailouts quietly nibble away at its value. It's your student loans, your rent, your savings, all balanced on a system where the rules seem to bend toward the people in the VIP lounge. And here's the kicker. This doesn't just shape your wallet today, it reshapes your future. The trust gap widens, the wealth gap deepens, and the cafe, the economy we all rely on, starts to feel less like a community space and more like a rigged game. So when you hear politicians always win on Wall Street, don't picture them sipping fancy lattes across town. Picture them in the same cafe you're in, only their cups never run dry, while yours feels lighter every day. That's the bitter brew. And unless the recipe changes, we're all left paying for a system that's designed to keep pouring for the few and dripping for the many.